Hey guys, so it's going to bring you guys a Frost Death Knight PvP guide, and I've already done one of these for 7.2.5. I'll put the link somewhere in the description or somewhere on the video. It's not that hard to do that these days, and anyway. So I'm just going to be making an updated 7.3 guide. I'm not going to go over the abilities as much as I do, really. I'm just going to go over the main abilities, main defensives, main offensives, your main abilities, and then main rotation and talent choices and why you should take certain talents in certain situations. So, going off with abilities, just to begin with. The anti-magic shell, you're going to want to use this whenever someone's focusing you with magic damage. It absorbs magic damage, generates rune power. Chains of Ice is your 1 slow, reduces movement speed, costs 1 ruin. Death Grip is a death grip. Death Strike is a heal. It doesn't do as much physical damage as it says, especially in PvP, but it heals you. It costs runic power, generates at least 10% of your max health. If you're really low in PvP, you can use this, and then if you have your Dark Sakura talent, which is this one right here, which is after you kill someone, it increases the healing of Death Strike, you could also use it for free. Frost Strike, chill both your weapons with icy power, quickly strike the enemy with both weapons, dealing a total of 344,000 frost damage, costs 25 runic power. Again, this is our main runic power spender, generates runes back, does frost damage, and it also goes through Blessing and Protection, and does magic damage compared to physical damage. Howling Blast is blast a target with the frigid wind, dealing 75,000 frost damage to that foe and 60,000 to enemies within 10 yards of him, and then gives them frost fever, which is our disease, and also generates runic power. Also has a chance to generate extra damage from our artifact ability through hypothermia. Howling Weapon is the new empowered rune weapon, is the talent that I take in the lower bottom row talent, which I'll explain later. Icebound Fortitude reduces damage you take by 20%, also makes it so your Death Strike heals you for 400% extra health, which is a artifact talent right there. And yeah, that's like our one defensive. Other than anti-magic shell, of course. Mind Freeze is our ranged interrupt, 15-yard range. Interrupts someone that was casting. Obliterate, again, one of our main abilities. Brutal attack with both weapons, deals 415,000 physical damage. Physical damage, keep in mind, so it's not going to hit through bop or anything. Path of Frost, everyone knows what that is. Pillar of Frost gives us 20% strength and makes us immune to knockbacks. It's basically Warrior's Avatar, but probably slightly better. Remorseless Winter. Drain the warmth from life. All near enemies, dealing 312,000 magic damage over 8 seconds. Reduces movement speed by 50%. So outside of Chains of Ice, this is another slow that does damage, but outside of Remorseless Winter, if you're trying to catch up to someone you don't have a slow on them, I would suggest just using Chains of Ice. Cindergroza's Fury is basically just a really big damaging spell. It's kind of random that we have it, but you know, Blizzard was like, this is a good idea. It's on a really long cooldown though, so I mean, if you're popping burst, I'd suggest using it after your Pillar of Frost is down. Wraithwalk is our gap closer. Does this, basically just makes you faster and makes it so you're not as vulnerable to movement impairing effects. And then Rhyme basically makes it so your Howling Blast is a chance to do extra damage after you obliterate. So after going into that, let's go into talents. So 7.3, they did change a few talents in certain rows. They moved a few things around, and I figure this is the best build that I like right now. Obviously, they could change it. It's like a week after 7.3 come out, so come out, whatever, same thing. And they could change it if they really want to, but I don't think they will. I don't think they really want to put that much effort into it, so going off the talents. Shattering Strikes, if there are 5 sticks of Razor Ice on the target, Frost Strike will consume them and deal 60% additional damage. I think this is your go-to top talent, really. I tried Runic Attenuation, whatever it's called, and it's somewhat... You get Runic capped a lot, but if you find yourself getting Runic starved, I would suggest it. Icy Talons also. Frost Strike increases your attack speed by 12% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, so you could get a 36% attack speed increase. There's really no point to that other than just attacking more. I don't think your auto attacks really do anything. Okay, well, you're going to get a lot more killing machines if you take Icy Talents, but I feel like Shattering Strikes is definitely a lot better. For the level 57 talent, Freezing Fog, I don't take anymore because in the same row as Murderous Efficiency. As I've said before, I do think Murderous Efficiency is like the best DK talent. Usually whenever it's in a row. Basically makes it so you generate more runes. Consuming Killing Machine effect has a 50% chance to gain, for you to gain 1 rune, so Say you're attacking someone, let's go up to this guy. You'll see here, I got a killing machine rune. If I use it, I might get a rune back. So you'll see there, I had 4 runes, used 2, was supposed to have 4, but since I had murdered killing machine, I got 1 more back instantly. That's why I think that talent is the best. Horn of Winter gives you 2 runes, 20 runic power. This could be good if you find yourself starved a lot, but in most cases I just like having the passive of Merchant's Fancy, and Freezing Fogs is like, don't even bother with it anymore. I don't think I'm ever going to use it anymore, because it was in a talent row where it was like the only viable thing, and now it's just kind of there. I don't think you're going to use it that much over either of these two. For the level 58 talent, I like Avalanche, basically because your Pillar of Frost is on a, 40-second cooldown with downtime. And when a Pillar of Frost is active, you basically deal extra frost damage. So, your melee crits cause extra frost damage. Simple enough. Glacial Advance, which was in the bottom row talent, is now in your level 58 talent tree. Basically, summons glacial spikes from the ground that advance forward, each dealing 278,000 frost damage to enemies near their eruption point. It's like a frost damage thing. If you're going against a Brett Paladin that has Bop or anything that has Bop, I mean, you could use this, but more often than not, I'm going to take Avalanche in most of my scenarios, and then Ice Cap, obviously, is still Ice Cap. Make it so your crits reduce the cooldown to Pillar of Frost by 1 second. So if you're trying to keep Pillar of Frost as up as possible, I would suggest this. Other than that, I'm just going to stay with Avalanche. Winter is coming for the stun. The reason I use that, the other two aren't that great. So the level 75 talent, you have kind of more flexibility now. Volatile Shielding still does the same thing. It makes it so your anti-magic shell does absorb more damage, but generates 100% additional runic power. Permafrost, again, your auto attacks give you a shield that's equal to 100% of the damage dealt from your auto attacks. And then the new talent is Inexorable Assault, which I think is really good. Made it so when frost DKs get kited, it's not like completely worthless anymore. Like, you'll still accumulate extra damage, but while in combat with an enemy, or with no enemy within 8 yards, you gain Inexorable Assault every 1 second. Each stat causes your next auto attack to deal 74,000 additional frost damage. So basically, if you're in combat and someone's not around you, you're going to generate this. It's passive damage for the next time you actually do get within range of someone. I've taken it. It's pretty good. Honestly, I think it's the best out of the talent, just damage-wise. You can take the other two if you find yourself against 2 casters in like 2v2s, or just find yourself wanting that extra absorb damage from permafrost. But other than that, I'd take this one because extra damage. And who doesn't want more damage? So for level 90 talent, I still take Gathering Storm. Each rune spent during Remorseless Winter increases its damage by 15% and extends duration by 0.5 seconds. Obviously, if you use this while you have full runes and then just somehow manage your rotation, you're going to generate a lot of runes. Going to increase the damage of your Remorseless Winter by like 150%, I think is the cap. And yeah, it just does a shit ton of damage. It's basically an extra frost damage. Frozen Pulse got moved from the top tier to the second to blast tier, I believe. While you have fewer than 2 full runes, your auto attacks radiate intense cold, inflicting 29,000 frost damage on all nearby enemies. So the thing I have with this is that it's really good in PvE. It seems like it would be good in PvP if you could somehow maintain Icy Talons, Frozen Pulse, and Permafrost, which is a build I'd want to try, but I feel like maintaining the below 2 runes isn't worth it for the damage that you're getting. And like the potential of you just going runic starved because of that is too much. And I don't like that kind of risky play, so that's why I go Gathering Storm. Frost Scythe, I haven't used this at all. I mean, it's a PvE town, I'm pretty sure. You could use it if you really want to, but I think Obliterate's fine. Bottom row talent. Obliteration for the next 10 seconds. Frost Strike and Howling Blast grant Killing Machine, and Obliterate costs 1 less rune. It's pretty simple. I don't really need to explain that. I'm going to try it, but I feel like Hungering Rune Weapon is definitely the best right now. Breath of Cindergroza still does the same thing. If you don't know what that is, I'm sorry. I'm not going over it. Basically, it's a rune expender that does Shadow Frost damage and is channeled, and you don't press Frost Strike. It's like a Frost Strike replacement for your burst, really. For honor talents, Gladiator's Medallion, Reinforced Armor, Sparring, depending on the situation. I like using Cadaverous Pallor. You can use Dark Simulacrum or Anti-Magic Zone. I just prefer the passiveness of this one. Decomposing Ore, you can use Necrotic Ore because increased magic damage, but does work well with your frost damage, but I just do like the % max health lost from this. Death Chill, basically an extra freeze. Frozen Center makes it so your Remorseless Winter freezes people in place. I use that because I use Remorseless Winter a shit ton. I don't really use Delirium that much. Tundra Stalker you can use if you want to go for big Frost Strike hits, especially on rooted targets because it increases the crit strike. So let's say you're running Shattering Strikes. You have the 5 stacks, you use that on a chained, rooted target. Tundra Stalker's probably going to crit them. You're probably going to crit them with a Frost Strike for 600,000 with your cooldowns up. So if you want to go for that, go for it. Personally, I do think the most overpowered thing right now is Overpowered Rune Weapon. As the title says, power Rune Weapon's cooldown is reduced by 2 minutes. And then this combined with the new Hungering Rune Weapon, which I've talked about in my previous video, and I will talk about right now. Power Rune Weapon, gaining 1 rune, 5 runic power instantly, in every 1.5 seconds, and grants 20% haste for 12 seconds. Keep in mind, the new Shaman Honor talent, same thing, gives you Bloodlust for 10 seconds, gives you 20% haste. This is built in to our normal talent tree now for some reason. God bless you, Blizzard, for trying to balance out the game. You tried. That's all I can say, you tried. So basically, they were like, you know what we should do? We should give Frost Death Knights, the people who already destroy people, a built-in Bloodlust to their talent system, and put it on a 1-minute cooldown. And everyone was like, that's a great idea, Jeff. You're game director now. We're moving you to Overwatch. And now he's directing Overwatch. But basically what I'm getting at is, it's really broken. You fucking massacre people whenever you use this in anything. Yeah, copy my build. I think my build is good. It does a lot of damage. I just do random battlegrounds. Obviously, if you're doing arenas and you know what you're doing, feel free to do your own thing, because I'm not the master of this game. I just kind of do random battlegrounds on most of my classes, and try to make each class the most viable that I can without putting too much effort into it. Okay, getting into the rotation. Same as before. You're going to want to go in, get Remorseless Winter up, use your cooldowns, and then just basically just spam Obliterate and Frost Strike whenever you can. Outside of that, so I'll show you guys the burst and then the not burst. So, looking for a target dummy, here's one. So, I'm going to show you guys the burst. You're basically going to go up to them. Preferably you'd want this up here first, and then you're going to want to pop cooldowns with the Killing Machine up. And then you just spam Obliterate like this until the target dies. And when you're ever runic capped, whenever you're runic capped, you can use Frost Strike, which isn't a bad idea. Most of the time, when I'm hitting someone while I have my burst up, I find myself just, most of the time, just spamming Obliterate. Especially when you can. Usually, if you can't spam Obliterate, you're going to want to Frost Strike and use stuff that is, like, obviously not on cooldown. So, basically, here's what the rotation is what I'm showing you. So outside of burst, I'll show you the outside of burst kind of rotation. Obviously, you're going to want to keep your Remorseless Winter up as much as you can. You're going to try to keep your Remorseless Winter up while trying to increase the damage of it, and while trying to weave Obliterates and Howling Blast into your rotation, just as I did there. And then sometimes you'll get downtime like this where you just kind of have nothing to press. It's kind of just a thing, but by then in PvP, your Hungering Rune Weapon is off cooldown. You'll see my Pillar of Frost is off cooldown, which is a 1-minute cooldown, which means in a PvP instance, my Hungering Rune Weapon would be off cooldown already, so I could just use that again, generate all my runes back, generate all my runic power back, and get a 20% haste buff. So, that's Frost DK. I guess ending notes of Frost DK in 7.3. We were really good before, and now we're just better. It's the same thing with Feral Druid from what I've heard. People have said that Feral Druid was as good as it was right now, but just the damage was in the Blood Talon bleeds and not in the actual damage itself. It's up to your own personal interpretation. I think Frost DK is really good right now. I feel like the only survivability, or like the problem that I have with Frost Death Knight, is the only survivability that we have is Anti-Magic Shell and Icebound Fortitude heals. Outside of that, we're pretty squishy. If you focus a Frost Death Knight and find them just not death striking or get them too low health without them noticing. Just we kind of just tip over, but that we make up for that and more in our fucking damage, because it's absolutely crazy that we can just almost kill someone in a stun now. Our one stun that we have. But anyway, that's Frost DK. It's just a really quick crash course / PvP guide for you guys. I know you guys tend to like these videos. Feel free to let me know what spec you guys want to see now. I'm thinking about doing Demon Hunter. Just gonna go down by character list, make guides for everything for 7.3, see what happens. And yeah, as always, thank you for watching, guys. I'm thinking about making PvE guides also, talking about the stats that you'd want, the rotation and legendaries and all that stuff. So feel free to let me know. Let me know your input, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Follow me on Twitter. I have a bunch of social media links in Discord and the description. And yeah, thanks for watching. Until the next video, guys. I'll see you guys later.